What is up, good people? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, and we are going to find the best Litecoin trading bots for 2026. So let's go back and look at the main page of CoinMarketCap. Looks like Fear and Greed Index is at 49, down a little bit since yesterday, and Bitcoin has dropped, I think it was 82 yesterday at some point, 81.8K, I think yesterday when I did my recording. So, like I said, today we're going to work on Litecoin. So what I did here first was I went over to the Bitsgap trading platform and ran a GridBot back test. And that got me a 19.43 APY. So how I set this one up is I went back to May 13th, 2025, and I measured down 60% and I measured up 60%. And shoot, did I not? All right. Well, you got to see this magic in real life. So ignore that 19.43 because I think I skipped a step and went over that kind of fast. So you can see here I have my investment of 1,000 and I changed the grid levels from 100 down to 50. All right. And let's do a back test again on this and see what we ended up getting. 15.64. So every time you see a little red dot here with $1,000 investment, you made 67 cents. Okay, let's look at that. So that's what that looks like. Okay, so that 19 or whatever percent, you can ignore that. And we are looking to beat a 15.64% APY on Litecoin. Okay, so we went over to our, what did I say here? 15.64. So next I went over to the DCA bot, and what I did here was I have this pairing the same $1,000 investment, starting out with a base order amount of 31.25 and an averaging orders amount 968.78 or 75, which gives me, add those together, that gives me the 1,000. And then I have five limit orders right underneath here. The spacing between those here with averaging orders 10% is 5.5%. Then my amount multiplier is on X2. So each line doubles here. So the next thing I did is I went down to the take profit percentage. And typically I start these out at 5, but that wasn't giving me what I wanted to see as far as APY and continuation for this bot. So I found that a 2.5, 2.5% price change for my take profit is a pretty good one. And I make sure my pump dump protection is off. So you can kind of see here that I've already ran the back test and it's back tested at 16.33. So just barely beat out the 15.64 from the grid bot. But you can see here the other things I look for besides the APY is I want to see continuation. So I want to see limit orders underneath here. And what that tells me is that this bot isn't even close to being done paying you to, do nothing. The bot does all the work. You do nothing. But so far it's paid 16.33%. And if you were to close that out today, you'd basically walk away with $1,163. So, but there's no reason to close this out because it's just going to continue making you money. And anything better than what the bank gives you is a win in my book. So I tried to beat that. I tried to find uh, settings that would give me a better return than that. And I could, but I didn't like the fact that it wasn't continuing. So I'll give you here's the example. So what I did was I went back and I'm playing around with some settings. You can see my $1,000 investment is the same. 3125 is still the base order amount. 968.75. My averaging orders quantity is 5. My averaging orders step percentage is 5. And then for this one, I I was playing around with the amount multiplier. I was playing around with the step multiplier. That wasn't really doing anything for me. But the amount multiplier, taking this off, it did provide, let's see, I'll show you here. So if I turn this on to X2 like I usually do and have it double on each line with my take profit being 5% and my pump dump protection off, let's look at this back test for the last 90 days. So I did a 90-day back test on that setting and found that it gave me a 1.41% return already in 3 months, which is better than you're going to get in a bank. But when I changed this from X2 off and did a back test over the last 90 days, it actually gave me a 6.71% return. So the reason it does that is because it's not waiting until price drops further. And you can see over the last 90 days, it's basically been sideways. But we've had some pretty good activity here. So we've had a buy and a sell and a buy and then a buy here, another buy, and then it sold and bought again, and then bought and then sold and then bought and sold and bought and sold, bought, sold, bought, sold. So each time it sells, it made, in this case, it made 20 $21 or no, this case it was a buck 55 here where it had purchased. When it popped up there, that's when it paid you 21 bucks. So, and that's in the last 90 days. So this is where I said I found a better return for a 365-day back test, but I still didn't like it because it didn't give me the continuation. So you can see these exact settings gave me a 34%, 34.5% APY for the last 365 days, but it hasn't done anything since last November 30th or December 1st, somewhere in that range. So, and then we went August to September. And if you watch these videos before, I don't like this. The first thing I look for is I look for my APY, and then I want to see the continuation. I want to see continued activity and potential future gains. Where with this bot, I would have to wait for it to get probably back just under $100 for the take profit again. So, that could be a minute with it currently being at 57. But with the way that everything is looking, over the last 90 days, we've basically made higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, and maybe not here, we're kind of gone sideways, but we just recently made another higher high. So the way that it's trending, it is really looking like that February 5th could be the bottom, and not just for Litecoin, but for the entire market. So why I'm thinking maybe turning off the amount multiplier and keeping it off here could give me, let's see, I don't think my 180-day back test is going to look good. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why. That's kind of weird. Oh, wow. Yeah, so if you would have started this with, that's where the risk comes in, because if you would have started the same bot 180 days ago versus 90, you're only up 0.25%, and you're going to be right about that $100 mark before it takes profit again. So just some food for thought. Hopefully that helps. But I would definitely feel a lot better with staying a little bit more conservative and maybe only getting half of the APY, but still 16% for doing nothing is amazing. You can't get that anywhere else. So I try not to play that shoulda, woulda, coulda game. It's even 8 years in the market here. It's still hard not to do that, but you live and learn and just learn from your losses and whatnot, and learn from your experience. But hopefully this helps you in your bot making adventure. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel and leave me your favorite coin in the comments and we'll run some bots for you. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.